Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be exploring the area around Harajuku. So that includes Meiji Shrine, Takeshita-dori Street, and Omotesando. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but this is where I would personally take my friends and family if they were going to come visit Tokyo for the very first time. Our first destination of the day is Meiji Shrine. And what you'd want to do is, instead of going to Harajuku Station, I'd want you to go from Yoyogi Station, which is right next door, and it's a short walk to the other end of Meiji Shrine, and there are less people, it's less crowded, and yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's go. The path to Meiji Jingu is lined with so many beautiful trees that just tower above you. It kind of blocks the sky. If you're lucky, you can actually see a traditional Japanese wedding happen at the shrine, and it's just something that's really unique to Japan. So if you're lucky, you might be able to see it. So this is where you have to purify yourself, and unlike in Asakusa, the instructions are right where you need to see them. So I didn't enter through the main entrance, I entered through the side. You can see behind me, they're actually selling charms that you can get, like protection charms. So there's some for like studies, some for driving, some for safe childbirth, and right next to it, you can get your fortune or omikuji. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the closer we get to Harajuku, the more crowded the shrine gets, like the pathway gets. So if you come through the Harajuku exit, then this is the shrine gate that you're going to see first. It's the more popular one, I would argue, because it's right next to the station. But if you want to do the more relaxed thing that we just did, then you'll really have to go through Yoyogi. So to get to Yoyogi Park, you'll want to exit Meiji Shrine and then just follow the signs to the park. There's nothing really special to see at this park. If you want to run, the place is filled with runners at all times, especially during the mornings and the evenings. There are lots of run clubs. I join a run club and we meet up at the entrance right next to the clock tower, and it's really fun. So if you're in Tokyo, you should check out 080. We always meet in Harajuku on Monday evenings. But there is a lot of renovation right now. I think they're trying to make it even better. So if the greenery at Meiji Shrine was enough for you, I wouldn't really think that this is a must visit. This is where we came from. This is like Meiji Shrine area, and then you go here. It's actually quite big, but this part in particular right now, as of 2024, it's still under renovation, so not much to see. There are other places where they hold events, like almost every weekend there's an event at Yoyogi Park. So if you're here on a Saturday or Sunday, check it out. It's like normally this area, and there's a dog run. So if you want to see some dogs, go to the dog run. So now that you've seen Meiji Shrine and Yoyogi Park, it's time to go to one of the iconic landmarks. Another iconic landmark here in Harajuku, and it's Takeshita Street. When you say Harajuku, I think that's what everyone thinks of when they first hear the word. Let's go there. Personally, I wouldn't buy anything at Takeshita Street because over the years it's become very thirsty, but I still think it's worth visiting even just once and taking a picture with the big arc that says Takeshita Street. Right now, I walked into Capsule Lab, which is literally 2 floors of every capsule gacha toy ever. And I think if you're really looking for a type of gachapon, you'll find it here. So crazy. It's really overwhelming. It's like so many floors. Well, 2 floors, but it's filled to the brim with all these kinds of gachapon. It's crazy. It's like I've hit the jackpot. Now let's check out the Daiso. There aren't too many multi-level Daisos that I can think of in Tokyo, so if you see one, just go in it and check it out. It's really crazy. There are so many things you really don't need but are here. While there's so many stores down Takeshita Street, I think I would only check out the Daiso and the capsule store. But there's so many other capsule stores here too. Basically more for tourists than anything. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit more expensive here than in other parts of Tokyo. But yeah, it's still worth checking out. I think there's a reason why this place is so famous. First, let's go get some lunch and then we'll continue exploring all the other shopping complexes here in Harajuku. Since it's still early, a lot of places don't open until 11. I think it's better to come. If you're just going to go to Harajuku and not Meiji Shrine, it would be much better to come from lunchtime and beyond that. So now let's head to our lunch spot. It's a Tarako pasta place, and I know what you're thinking, it sounds kind of weird. I thought the same, and then I moved to Japan and now it's the only thing I order if it's available on the menu. I love the saltiness of the cod roe, and I can highly recommend it if you're open to like trying something new aside from like, you know, the usual like pesto or carbonara. This is, in my opinion, much tastier. Lunch was great. I love that place. Like, the staff are really friendly. The service is so quick. I was in and out in like 30 minutes. And the amount of food that you get for the price that you pay is really good value for money. And you get to try something different. So I can recommend that place. Now we're walking around Cat Street, and there are a lot of boutiques with like name brands, and there are also some thrift stores here. But of course, we won't be going to all of them because there's just not enough time in the day. If you do want to know some of my recommendations, I'll leave them in the description box down below. There are also a few coffee shops in the area. So if you want a little pick-me-up, then you can definitely get it here. If I do have a friend in town, they do like waiting at the On store because I think that's one of the only, if not the only, physical On store here in Japan. So the line can get quite long. Even as I just passed it right now, it's not even peak lunchtime yet and the line is super long. So I realized I'm kind of near Kiddieland, and while I wouldn't normally go there, I think that now because there's no line in front of it, I want to check it out and see for myself why everyone lines up before it opens. Left Kiddieland, and yeah, that was cuteness overload, and I'm glad I didn't buy anything because I don't know why, but unexpectedly the items inside the store are kind of expensive. So yeah, I didn't end up with anything, although I'm not that big of a fan of Mofusan or Sonny Angels. I mean, I do have like one or two, but it's nothing that I'd actually collect. So yeah, let's go ahead to the new mall complex that opened this year. There's even a sauna and a bathhouse in it or something like that. So yeah, let's check it out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the sauna today, but it's nice to know that it is an option. So this complex is called Harakado. Kado means corner in Japanese, and it's at the corner of Harajuku and Omotesando. floor, and it seems like there's some sustainable environmental project going on. It looks like an art installation. I'm not entirely sure if this is permanent or not, but it's so unlike any other mall I've been to in Japan. This is really cool. It's like, this kind of reminds me of a bonfire, and everyone's just sitting around it. So now that we've visited one of the newest malls in Harajuku, Harakado, let's go to one of the older ones called La Forêt. Here it's a center for all things Japanese street fashion and some foreign brands as well. But anyway, let's just go check it out. I'm really excited. I always feel inspired every time I go just because the people here are so expressive with how they dress, and it's really out of the box. I think it's one mall that you should go in at least once just to see what it's all about. It really is something that people associate with Harajuku, aside from Takeshita Street. So what I like about La Forêt is that every floor is so distinct from one another. All the stores have their own aesthetic, and yeah, it just gives you a nice little sample of the other up-and-coming brands or well-established brands here in Japan. I actually walked into a store where you could buy the raw materials to make your own accessories and phone charms and all of that, and I thought that was really cool. There are also some souvenir shops here and bag stores. It's really a lot to see, and I think if you were going to do some shopping and you were trying to look for something really unique, then it would be at La Forêt. So now we're gonna go to, there's just one picture spot that I like to bring my friends to, but we don't really explore much of the mall. So I'll just take you to the photo spot, and then after that, let's go get a sweet treat. This is one of the most famous spots in Harajuku just because it looks like a kaleidoscope. It's the way that the mirrors are angled and stuff. It looks really cool, right? Worth going to, even if it's just the entrance. And then now, let's walk down Omotesando and let's get something sweet. I want a sweet treat. We've been walking around for a while and we still have a little bit of walking to do, so let's go. When I first moved to Tokyo, I would always come to this side of Cat Street and I would just go to the vintage shops because you could actually find something quite cheap here. And the only ones I really go to, I find like everything else is kind of overpriced. I only go to Baz store and 2nd Street, and they're luckily right beside each other. So the cafe that I want to go to today is a little bit farther from Omotesando and Harajuku, but granted it is just a nice escape from all the noise, so that's why I'm taking you there. You can always get a crepe at, you know, Takeshita Street, but I like the crepes here more and I like the vibe. It's very hidden, it's very quiet, and if you just want to rest your feet, it's a good place to do so, and you don't feel really rushed here, so I always bring my friends here every time we're in the area. For the cafe today we're back at Neil. If you watch my regular Life in Japan vlogs, I come here quite often with my friends and I always like to stay on the terrace, especially if it's a really good day. And I love their crepes, I love their matcha latte, and it's really quiet, it's very residential, and it's not crowded, which is the most important thing. I feel like when you're in Harajuku and Omotesando, you can feel a little bit overstimulated because it seems like everyone in Tokyo is there, but there are nice pockets of quiet and peace and calm that aren't too far, like maybe 10 minutes. If I'm gonna be fair, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on how fast you walk. But yeah, it's just nice to recharge here before we head to our next stop, which is an art museum. So let's go to the Watarium Museum. It's not too far from Neil, maybe about a 7-minute walk. And I've been there once before. It was really nice. I think they just renovated the facade, so I'm excited to finally visit again and see the new exhibit that they have. I googled it while I was eating a while ago, and it looks really cool. So yeah, let's go there. Museum, and I really like that there's only 3 floors. The floor space is quite small, so you can really see everything at a glance. And the exhibit that I went to was called Sidecore Concrete Planet, and it's running until December, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to catch it while you travel to Tokyo, but I really enjoyed the museum shop. I think you should check it out because they have some postcards for 165 yen, and if you like sending postcards to your friends while you travel, that's a great place to get it. It feels like it's very one of a kind, so if you're into that, check it out. So our second to the last stop today is at Cosme. I don't think it would be my guide to Harajuku if I didn't include it. It opened in 2020, and ever since then, it's been my go-to place to get all my cosmetics and skincare, but it does get a little bit crowded. So I would recommend going to an Eins Tulpe if you can find it. To beat the crowds, I always turn left at Sweet Rock's Creperie and head up the hill, and you'll end up at With Harajuku. It's the perfect shortcut to get to at Cosme. Let's go. I spent way too much time at Cosme. I think I spent an hour in there, and I didn't even end up getting anything. I thought I was going to buy something, but I didn't end up getting anything. But anyway, the last place I want to show you are the steps that I always hang out with my friends here at With Harajuku. I said with so many times. But anyway, it's a really nice place to just chill. If you don't want to buy anything, you just want to sit down, this is the place to do it. When it gets colder, they used to put like seats and blankets and stuff, but I guess they don't want people to do that anymore, so yeah, this is how it looks like. It's nice to sit here at night because you get to see Docomo Tower lit up, and it kind of looks like the fake Empire State Building from where I am. So that was my guide to Harajuku. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, I'll leave all the links in the description box down below. I hope you guys can check it out, and I hope that it can help you plan your trip to Harajuku. As always, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!